How you guys doing? Welcome back to Team Odell TV Football Edition Week 7. I'm here with Chris Lahr, Leo Mota, and Buddy Martinez. I am Eric Sugarmore. Now, we're going to get into our first 1 o'clock game, which is the Lions and the Ravens, starting with Chris.
Yeah, so the Lions are 9th on offense, not the defense. The Ravens 7th on offense, 10th on defense. The Ravens had a crushing blow this week to their playoff hopes, as they lost last seconds to the Cardinals. And the Lions, they're 2-4, and I think they have the greatest chances to make it into the Grade 8, depending on their who they play versus the Ravens. They have a tougher matchups. I think the Lions, they play the Cardinals yet. The Ravens play the Panthers. And so they have a tougher matchups there. I think it's now or never for the Lions. If they don't win this, there's absolutely no chance. If they win this one, they'll get that magic number of 3. You got to have at least 3 wins, not necessarily without automatically making you in, but you're not going to get into the playoffs without 3 wins. So the Ravens have to win out. The Lions need to win this game, and this is the time they need to win, because then they play the Cards next week. They win these next 2, they're sitting 4-4, and they're going into the playoffs. But I just think the Ravens they're a tough team. One thing about the Ravens, they're fighters, and they're going to keep coming back. They're not going to give up, and I think that they're going to actually win this one and make it 25-20 Ravens.
Well, Chris, I have to disagree with you. I think that the Lions are going to pull this one out 33-27, and I just believe that the Lions have too much power for the Ravens. And yeah, you have to forgive me for it now, because I do have a little bit of a lisp. But I do believe that the Lions are going to pull this one out against the Ravens, 33-27. I think the Lions is just too much for them. Buddy, take it away.
Yeah, the Ravens. I mean, they gave the game away. They gave them a gift. It was just poor execution at the end of the game, and if you can't close out games, you don't deserve to be in the playoffs. So lucky for the Ravens is that their season is not over quite yet. If they can win out their next 2 games, so it's going to be dependent on what they could do these next 2 games. But the Lions, on the other hand, they're coming off a tough loss against the Packers, but they're a little depleted. I think they come with 7 players now, and I know Hassan's real hurt. He has some kind of head injury. So it's going to be tough for them to handle the Ravens. I know I was talking to Missy, and Missy was telling me she's real disappointed in that loss, but she wasn't down on her boy. She said, like Chris was saying, that they still have fight, and she thought they could still turn it around and make the playoffs. So far, Missy steered me wrong, and I've been picking her. But I'm going to go with this last time, I'm going to go with Missy, and I'm going to say that the Ravens can pull this one off, and I got them winning 30-22.
These are all great picks by my counterparts here. I really agree with Buddy on the tough loss by the Lions, and I just don't think they can be able to bounce back with that. It's just going to be too much Ravens and 81 all day, as Chris says sometimes. But we're going to go to that next 1 o'clock game, which is the Saints and the Colts.
Yeah, the Colts, man, that 2 win, and this is it. I mean, this is a free one. I mean, here they go. The Saints haven't won a game yet.
What do you mean a free one?
I think it's a bye week for the Colts. I think they got an easy win. Yes, I think the way the Saints are struggling, they're getting better a little bit each week, but I think the Colts are flaming mad. I think they're going to win this one. Colt 45, Saints 13.
Wow, Chris, I have to agree with you on that one, Chris. I think the Colts are going to beat the Saints. I think my score is 40-20, but I do believe that the Saints are a team on the rise. I think Eric Ramos is going to take a little exception to what you said, Chris. But again, I have the Colts winning 40-20. Charles is going to be too much for their secondary. He's too big. He's the second coming of who you call him, KFC?
That's Popeyes.
Yeah. So yeah, he's Popeyes. He's the spicy. So yeah, I got the Colts winning 40-20.
Yeah, man, the Saints, like I said, the Saints are still trying to figure it out, and it's expected from your rookie year. But the Colts, on the other hand, they gave some fight to the Seahawks, and I was impressed. They weren't able to close out the game. The Seahawks made the plays at the end to win. But the Colts, it seems like Renee just continues to score each week, and then Esky is coming along again, and the offense is starting to go to scoring points. They just defensively kind of let them down in that last game. So in this game, I'm just going to have to go with the experience. I'm going to have to go with the Colts on this. I think Apple finally probably gets some catches. I think this is more probably his level of competition. And I think he'll probably do really good against the Saints. But I think the Saints, I think they're ready to break out any week, so I wouldn't count them out. I know they've been practicing real hard and they fight. But in this game, we're going with Colts, and I got the score 32-26, but I got them scoring 4 in this one. Leo, you good, bro? You need some water in your throat.
Short, sweet, and to the point.
That's right.
Now we're going to go to that first 2:30 game with the Vikes and the Eagles.
Man, what happened to the Vikings? They started off, they had 3 wins, immediately, got the 3 wins quick. And then all of a sudden they're even losing.
What happened to the Vikings? You said that you did that.
Well,
you buried them.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, they lost even to the Cowboys, and that's tough to do, right? And so the Vikings, they're at an interesting point here. This is it. I mean, I still think they get into the playoffs, but they can turn things around right here, right now. In their division, if they beat the Eagles, they'll have the same division, but they'll have the tiebreaker over them, and they could be a higher seed than they're going to have now and face one of the very top elite teams. I think the playoffs are going to be a fabulous one. I think there's about maybe 6 or 7 really good teams for the playoffs this year. Typically, you have 4 good teams, 4 teams that stink that play. This year, we're up to at least 6, 7 teams that are incredible. The playoffs are going to be amazing this year. And the Vikings, if they're going to turn it around, it's got to be now. But I don't see it in them. I think their heart is ripped out, and it's shown the last couple weeks. I think the Eagles win this one 32-20.
Chris, who are your 7 good teams?
We'll talk about that in a minute. Let's see. All right, you want to know the 7 good teams?
Yes.
All right, 7 good teams are Packers, Seahawks, Panthers, Eagles, and Raiders, and I believe Vikings, I think, can be that 17. I really think that Vikings can be that.
That's
Other
fine.
than that,
That's 5.
That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
You got 6. You got
Cowboys,
you think the Cowboys
if the
are there?
Cowboys,
Leo, you think the Cowboys are there, Leo?
they could be. And if they are, if not, I said 6 or 7. It's yet to be determined, but it's much better than it's been in the past. We have 4 good teams. We have at least 6 teams that can compete. 5 really good teams. Yeah, that's my thought.
Well, again, like I've been doing all year, Chris, I have to agree with you again. I'm going to pick the Eagles, though, 27-12. In this game, I think that, I believe that Teddy is going to be too much for the Vikings out there. The Vikings, they're really missing Shamin. I don't know what Hector and Carlos are doing over there. You got to get some going. Moses, he's really went down. I mean, maybe the handball season is going too much for him. So, yeah, I think this is it for them. I think this is it. The Vikings are going to end their season with 2 more losses.
Yeah, well, let's talk about the Eagles. The Eagles, they did what they did, took care of business against the Saints. And now's the time where they have to start preparing, to get ready for that playoff run that they always make. Brian, I think he only played like a couple drives in this game. So, but it was good to see Wesley out there. Wesley's, I think he makes a big difference on that team. And, defensively, Teddy, I think he was just shut down. He had 2 touchdowns. And Jimmy actually representing the 200-pound plus guys out there. Little lefty, he throws like this, but he was doing all right. I think he threw like 3 touchdowns in the game.
My Gears guys, they would probably be happy about that.
Yeah. Them big boys, they'd be happy too. But the Vikings, I'm embarrassed for the way they finished out that game. The players on that team, they need to man up. And I had too many people kind of quitting and kind of leaving. And when you're part of a team, you know what I mean. You have to be part of that. You can't quit on your team. They care. So my thing is, some of them players are young, and I think they probably realize their mistake afterwards. But when times get tough, you can't bail. And so for the Vikings, if you guys, you're right here at the playoff position. Ain't nothing going to be given to you guys. You guys have to earn it. So if you guys expect it to be easy, then maybe you should play in another league. But for you guys are in a position to make a run. And so for these last 2 games, I say you guys show up. You know what I mean? And show what you guys can do. But until you guys can do that, I got the Eagles blowing them out 36-0. I don't see nothing going on. They got to show me something.
Yeah.
You got them
no points. No points. From what I seen in that last game, man.
All great picks by my counterparts again. And that'll conclude our first half for Timoteo's predictions for week 7.
Eric, you're doing a great job, man.
Thank you, Leo. Thank you. And we will be back with our second half predictions.